All right, so let's look at our final category here. We want to talk about the scoring offense versus Notre Dame's scoring defense, and this is where your red zone comes into play here. It's interesting to me because their numbers in the red zone.
Yeah.
Their red zone offense, they're 24 of 25. I mean, that's top 10 in the country. But then you look at the touchdown percentage,
yes.
And it go. I mean, it hits. It falls hard to 86.
Yeah.
So they're kicking a lot of field goals. So they if my son's the place kicker, I'm excited because he's getting a lot of work down in the red zone. But they're not getting into the end zone. 56% in the red zone scoring touchdowns. That is not good. But that plays right into the hand of Notre Dame because they're 11th in the country in touchdown percentage allowed in the red zone.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, the numbers bear out, is something we talked about. They back us up. What is going to be the matchup in the nickel on third downs? Because more than likely, USC is going to be 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12. What is the matchup? They feel like they can convert any third down at any distance because of the talent they have at wide receiver.
Right.
You see right there, that third down offense, 37-81. It's not too bad. That's not too bad. I think calculating that's almost like a 40% clip.
Yeah.
Not too bad. But third down defense from Notre Dame, 29-91.
Yeah.
That's really good. And how do we get there? Different ways. The blitz, dropping back. The middle of the field on third down has been the biggest issue, right?
Right.
How many times have we seen dig routes in behind our linebackers?
Sure, exactly.
38, 39, and 3rd and long. So sure that up. Bo Bauer do a better job. J.D. Bertrand, when he's in, do a better job. And loose Isaiah Foskey. He's playing against guys he played against in high school. This is his state team that he probably wanted to go to as a youngster.
Sure.
And they really didn't push for him. He's at Notre Dame. If there's any one team that he wants to have a stellar game against, it's USC.
Right.
So unleash him in 3rd and long and, play great coverage. Isaiah Pryor will be a key in this game as well. I'm interested in how he uses Isaiah Pryor in this game as well. For me, I would like to get Pryor and Bertrand on the field because those are the guys that always seem to find the ball.
Sure, absolutely.
Both of those guys. So can we find a way to put them in a package where they're both on the field? I'm all for Henderson definitely getting a lot of tick in this game against USC because the kid has made some mistakes, committed some young, just stupid penalties that you expect from a freshman.
Sure.
You can clean that up by week, get him on the field. But when it comes to being in position to make plays and cover, he's there. It's not like he's just been getting beat when he's out there. He's in a position. He just hasn't made a play on the ball. So that Ramon Henderson is somebody we talked about even before the season, coming into the season. Coaches loved him. And I think that kid can make a lot of plays coming up against USC, North Carolina, and Virginia.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to need him to step up and give him an opportunity to make an impact on this defense. And now's the time. Second half, let's go ahead and get these youngsters on the field on both sides of the ball. Henderson, Cozy, those guys, let's get them on the field and let them make an impact and stop wearing out our major guys playing them the majority of the time. Give them a breather every now and then and allow these freshmen to show they can make an impact for the defense and on the offensive side of the ball. This is an exciting season. I'm sorry, Vince. Last season we knew we had a chance at a national championship. Thought we had a good team. But this season is not only about the now, but this season is a peek into the future. And
Absolutely.
how bright the future is for this program. And you have to be excited to watch that. There's not too many teams that can develop, show their promise, and still win games at a high clip. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, and I think you would agree with me that this is not a rebuilding year for Notre Dame.
They shouldn't look at it like that.
It's not that at all. And I see too many people saying that, oh, well, it's a rebuilding year and it's okay if, this, that, and the other. No, Notre Dame should never be rebuilding. It's a ridiculous stance to take if you're a Notre Dame fan, if you know anything about this team. Yeah, they lost 4 guys on the offensive line to the NFL.
Yeah.
So have a lot of people. Like that it doesn't mean you're rebuilding, right?
Right.
Now, getting younger guys on the field and getting them experience helps you now, and it will also help you in the future. That doesn't mean you're rebuilding, And Michael Johnson says it right here, reload. That's it. That's exactly right. They're reloading, and Notre Dame is at a point where that's what they should be doing.
Absolutely.
They should not be rebuilding.
That's the mentality you see at Alabama. That's the mentality you see at Ohio State.
Right.
Now, Ohio State lost to Oregon. Ryan Day didn't make excuses, talk about transition years and all of that. He said, we got some problems, and I'm going to get it right.
Yeah.
We're going to get this defense right. And ever since then, they've been blowing everybody. Of course, it's lesser competition, not the same type of competition as Oregon, but that's who you play. You play the team that's in front of you.
Absolutely.
And that's what both of us want to see from Notre Dame on Saturday night. Yep. Hey, this is not the same USC team traditionally, but guess what? You play the team that's in front of you.
You got it.
You are the better team. It's not even close. Play like it.
Right.
Play like it. Dominate this team and make them quit and get them out of the way. Let's move on to North Carolina.
I agree. Could not agree more. I'm with you. 100%. And, I didn't ask you this before, and people are going to have to watch 2 videos potentially to find out the answer. But who has the advantage in the pass game, Notre Dame or USC?
Ooh, that's a tricky one.
Yeah, it really is. It's the hardest one.
Yeah. That's a tricky one. It's a push, and I'll tell you why. If I look at it from the standpoint, if you ask me, can Notre Dame shut down the USC pass game? I'm going to tell you no. Because we don't have – I think you need at least 2 Cam Hart caliber defensive backs.
Sure.
To say we're going to shut their pass game down. And nobody has really shut down USC getting numbers in the pass game. Now, can you interrupt what they want to do in the pass game and create turnovers, get interceptions, get strip sacks, and just totally take them out of their comfort zone to where you're forcing them to pass the ball rather than them passing the ball when they want to and how they want to? I definitely think Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman can do that. So the yards might be, Slovis might throw for 330 yards. But based upon the inefficiency in the red zone, Notre Dame could give up 20 points and give up almost 400 yards of offense. But you look at the scoreboard, and it's 42-20.
Right.
At the end of the night, and you're saying to yourself, you know what? Marcus Freeman and that defense, they did their job. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. And as simple as that. So it's a push for me.
Okay.
Because no, I don't think you're going to stop USC from putting up close to 300 yards through the air.
Right.
There's too much talent.
Right.
But
and they're gonna, it's like Navy. You're gonna give up 240 yards on the ground, but you can still beat them by 3 touchdowns but that's what they do. That's still a win because they average over 300 or whatever. That's the way I look at it. Is you're gonna give up yards to USC, which pushes me to say that I'm going to give the advantage to USC if we're just talking numbers, right? From a USC passing the ball and Notre Dame stopping them from passing the ball. Yep. I think I got to give the advantage to USC here. But then that parlays right into this discussion about scoring offense versus scoring defense. And I'm going to give the advantage to Notre Dame.
Exactly.
Because I think everything that you just said pushes me to Notre Dame here because they're going to keep them out of the end zone for the most part.
I agree. And then, like you said, you look at the numbers, like 448.2, they're 29th in the nation.
Right.
So the talent's there, and you can't deny that. And as I said before, the challenge is going to be on Clarence Lewis and Tariq Bracy to once again take advantage of the opportunities that are going to be afforded to them.
Right.
Now, here's the question. Would you just strictly put, Drake London's going to be targeted, right?
Absolutely.
You're not going to stop that. He's getting 15 targets. Book it. Mark it down.
Absolutely.
He is looking his way. Would you waste Cam Hart on that? Because Cam Hart, you want him to deter teams from throwing.
Sure.
To a certain side of the field. Putting Cam Hart on Drake London is not going to deter USC from throwing the ball at him.
Nope.
Right?
Not at all.
So it's like, okay, cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take Cam Hart and put him on Gary Bryant. And we're going to shut him down. You're throwing to him anyway. If he's covered, if we double him and he's covered, now you have to go to option 3.
Right.
Because you're scared to go to option 2.
Exactly.
Number 5 right there.
And I think you nailed it right there.
These are the type of things that Marcus Freeman probably has going through his mind. Like, you're almost wasting Cam Hart. I don't want to say wasting because he's your best defensive back. So in certain positions, yeah, I'm sure he's going to line up man-to-man on Drake London. But I'm not about to follow Drake London around the field.
Nope. No, not at all. No, because you can not take him away, but you can minimize his effectiveness by bracketing him and doing some other things. And that's how I think that you handle it. Again, is there going to be a matchup between him and Cam Hart? Yeah, there is, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, but
I don't want to watch that all day because you're right. Because nobody else is going to demand a double team from Notre Dame, right? And so if you're double teaming London and then you've got Cam Hart on another guy, you're absolutely right. They got to go to the third or the fourth option. And by then, I'm hoping that my defensive line is starting to wreak a little bit of havoc in the backfield, right? If he's going through progression to progression to progression, and that takes a while, okay, that gives my front a chance to go make a play, right?
Yeah. And then let's just say, okay, hey, Kyle, take Malcolm Epps out of the game all night. Take the tight end away. So that's your second and third option. Right. So basically, in order to win, you have to complete 30 passes to Drake London. That's impossible. You're not going to complete 30 passes. You can target him 30 times.
Sure.
But that's not a way to win the game. And you're not going to be able to run the ball on us. So I'm very interested in seeing how Marcus Freeman schematically attacks this USC offense that's going to get his numbers. Right? It's almost like Michael Jordan and the Jordan rules that the Detroit Pistons had. Right? Detroit had to come to the standpoint, it was like, you know what? He's the best player in the world. So we're going to be physical and stop everybody else.
Right. Let him get his.
Because he's going to get his regardless.
Right.
Let him get his. And that's the same approach you take with Drake London and this USC offense. They're going to get theirs.
Right.
They're going to get their numbers. It's going to be real cute. But at the end of the day, there's no substance to it.
I agree. I think that you're absolutely right. Nobody else really scares me per se on this offense. Yeah. And again, they're going to get their yards. They're going to get their completions. They're going to get their completion percentage. I mean, that's all going to happen. It's, the number where we talk about, the TD percentage in the red zone, 56%. If they continue to do that, Notre Dame's going to win this game. Yeah. I mean, and if people don't believe me necessarily, go back and listen to yesterday's show where we talked about what the Notre Dame offense can do to this USC defense, because nobody scares me on the defensive side against any offense, let alone Notre Dame. So I think Notre Dame is going to score some points here. And as long as the defense can keep USC's offense contained, right? Just contain them.
That's it.
You don't have to stop them, but you got to contain them, right? And I can already hear, the fans of Notre Dame freaking out because of all the passing yards and the completions and all these things. Let that go and worry about the score. And worry about, and look, if they end up getting loose and they score more points than Notre Dame, then so be it. You have every reason to be upset, but that's just not how I see this game going down. I just don't. They're going to get their yards in between the 20s, right? But when it's balls to the walls time. I just don't see them getting it into the end zone on a consistent basis, and they haven't done that to this point in the season. And Notre Dame's defense is really good. They're 11th in the country in TD percentage in the red zone. If they can continue to do that and USC continues to do what they're doing, this isn't going to be a problem.
Yeah, you're facing a team on Saturday night that's going to be playing 60 minutes waiting for the sky to fall.
Right.
The entire 60 minutes, they're waiting for the sky to fall. They're waiting for doom. They expect it. It's your job as a team, as Notre Dame, to give them constant reminder that it's coming. Yes, it's happening. From the first snap.
Right.
Knocking them on their butts. Oh, yeah, it's coming.
Right.
We don't know when it's going to drop, but the sky is going to fall on you at some point tonight in South Bend. And they'll give up. Like you said, they are primed for a blowout. Prime. They've been in every game early, but eventually they let go of the rope. That's what they've shown us over the last 3 games. I don't think the bye week is going to change anything about USC coming into South Bend.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And somebody in the chat earlier said the best bet, and I know you do a betting show, right?
Yeah.
You talk about this. He said the best bet is Notre Dame and whatever points you can get in the second half.
Absolutely. That's a great call. That's a great call. Definitely play either against the spread or the money line.
Yeah.
And I don't know the over. I have to see what the over is, but I would take the over in this game.
Really?
I would take the over in this game because of Notre Dame's offense. Like, I think Notre Dame's offense is really going to outperform what they've done.
There you go, Alan. I got to give Alan credit. Alan, yeah, he nailed it. And I'm going to be taking a look at that number this weekend because I think Alan's right. Because look, where's Notre Dame scoring most of their points? It's pretty much in the second half because they're coming back or they're doing whatever. Yeah. And, USC, you're right. They fall apart the second half. I'm with you, Alan. I think Alan just made me a little bit of money this weekend. Yeah,
that can be definitely. That's a great bet. That's a great call.
I love it. I love that. So I'm going to ask you just to be official, but when we're talking scoring defense for Notre Dame versus the scoring offense for USC, where do you lie, my friend?
Oh, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Notre Dame. They do a great job of not allowing teams to score touchdowns. You can call it bend but don't break. This is a defensive unit that you're seeing the system in its infancy. You're just seeing it in its infancy. And as we see more talent coming from these recruiting classes, we know the linebackers they have coming in the next 2 cycles.
Right.
We know.
Right.
Right? And we expect Cam Hart to continue to grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we expect Ramon Henderson to continue to grow. And some of the other young DBs that they have that we heard promising things about in the fall camp. Look, this is going to be a vice grip type defense coming soon. And I think you're going to start to see it get even better and closer to that in the second half, starting Saturday night. So, yes, I'm taking Notre Dame definitely from a point standpoint to keep this USC defense offense out of the end zone as much as they would like to be there.
Yep, I could not agree more. I love the fact that I think Notre Dame is going to give up some yards, and we'll talk about that on Saturday night. Don't get me wrong, we'll talk about it. But I think in the end they're going to keep them out of the end zone, and I don't know that this game is going to be all that close. But that's tomorrow's show. The prediction show is tomorrow. I'm not ready to give a prediction just yet, but I just think that Notre Dame's going to do a good enough job on defense. I think we're going to see some different things from Marcus Freeman that we haven't seen yet because we haven't seen an offense like this. And I think we're going to see Brian actually mentioned it in the chat at one point that we're going to see more 3 down. And against a team like this, I'm fine with that. I just don't necessarily want to see Isaiah Foskey at linebacker because he doesn't know how to drop. So you can go 3 down all day because that brings another skill guy onto the field to cover. And I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine with that because I think he's right. I think we will see more 3 down, but we're going to see a mix and we're going to see some stuff that we haven't seen yet. And I think that's the fun and exciting part about having Marcus Freeman as your defensive coordinator.
Yeah, the spread for the game is like the 6.5 right now. A second half spread will probably be a little less than that. based upon how the first half goes, like you said, that's a great bet. Betting them against the spread and on the money line. Notre Dame's minus 260 on the money line for the game.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, minus 260. So I would take that just full game.
Yeah.
58.5 over under. Take the over.
Yeah.
Take the over. I definitely think Notre Dame's going to put up points. I think USC is going to give them points. The defense might score some points as well. So yeah, take the over.
I love it.
Matchup.
I love it. I'm coming to you for some betting advice later on. That we're gonna chat. But so yeah, I think this is gonna be. It's good. Look, if you like offense, you're going to enjoy this game because USC is going to throw it all over the place. Absolutely. People like watching that. That's cool. But at the end of the day, I think Notre Dame is going to be celebrating a win on their home field, at night, under the lights, just having a blast. Everybody's going to be all sauced up and excited. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And look, there's no better win to get than a win over your arch rival. And that's what USC is. Notre Dame has rivals. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
USC is the big one. And there's no team I would rather beat year in and year out than USC.
That's really